So I just wanted to give a little bit of context about the Doctor Who story, Delta and the Bannerman. So it's set in a 1950s holiday camp, and the production actually filmed the story in Butlin's Barry Island holiday camp in South Wales. And although it had been sold the year before to a different company, it was a Butlins in all but name, in that it shared the same aesthetics and architectural styles as all the other Butlins sites. One of which, of the three that still exist, is Skegness. And since I was going to be visiting, I decided to put together this model and take it along and take a few photos and see if I could recapture some of that Shangri-La spirit. So just as a brief follow-up to the Tom Yardley Jones project, 1/7 scale, I took it to Butlins and I took photos. There's not a massive amount there in terms of sort of period accurate stuff for Delta and the Bannerman. I mean, obviously the TARDIS doesn't really interact with it. It doesn't land in the camp. It lands like on the perimeter. So you know, fences and stuff. But I mean, you can kind of get fences anywhere. So although some of these are quite nice, I know it's a Butlins, but really it doesn't make much difference. I mean, you could argue that a lot of the photos from Delta and the Bannerman is the similar kind of setting on the sort of gravelly car park on the edge of the cliff or whatever. So yeah, a few nice shots. I messed around trying to get like forced perspective shots, but ultimately that didn't really work. That wasn't really what I was going for. I just tried it out. I took a lot of these with my phone actually, rather than with the camera that I usually use, and it was a hell of a lot easier. Because although I did get a couple of nice ones with the camera, like I kept getting like a horrible glare on the TARDIS. Like basically as soon as the camera recognised the background was dark, it immediately lit up the TARDIS and it looked crazy because of the flash. I mean, it is shiny, but yeah, the phone just worked it out. So because I was kind of shooting guerrilla style, if you like, I didn't want to be too obvious about it, because I didn't want people to be like asking me about it and stuff. It wouldn't really make much of a difference, I suppose, but it would just have been unnecessary attention, especially given that I was kind of photographing it in areas that you weren't really meant to go. Not that there was anything particularly wrong with it, it's just that the area that I took some of these photos is where the staff live, and it's not really somewhere you're supposed to go. There are signs, but I wasn't there long. I don't think they would care personally, but you know, it's not like I was taking pictures through the windows or anything. I will just mention as well this original chalet, which is a Grade 2 listed building at Skegness, and this is what all the chalets used to look like at one time. But yeah, some of these are quite nice derelict shots of like it's overgrown because it's hidden from view. There's kind of junk, and they're not very modern. It's very shabby, and a lot of the other accommodation was brought up to date, and it doesn't seem like this was. But yeah, probably because they were thinking, well, we're not putting guests in there. Yeah, so you can recognise the features from the chalets in Delta and the Bannerman. They're not dissimilar, and the building styles are very similar again. However, the railings have been replaced a couple of times since the 80s, so the white wooden horizontal banisters and stuff have gone. Replaced it with new wooden railings, which are kind of not in keeping with how it used to look. And also you'll notice if you're looking closely, you'll notice the scaffolding builders poles that they've put along under each walkway all the way along on all the different chalet lines. But yeah, you've got the little staircases in the middle, the walkways, the chalet doorways are the kind of like the door and the two windows either side, just like that hidey-high look. But yeah, there are people living in them. I guess you would get used to it after a while, but yeah, not massively pleasant. But yeah, I fulfilled the brief, basically, that I set myself, which was to get a few photos. I didn't go on the beach. The weather wasn't great. Yeah, so that one is now up on eBay for sale. But yeah, I made it for that, and now it's done with, and it can go, really. But yeah, I've just clocked, actually, while I'm here, I can demonstrate the scale difference. So we've got the 1:7 scale finished model. We've then got the 1:6 scale, very much not finished model, just the doors of this. It's going to be the Peter Capaldi TARDIS. And then we have the 1:5 scale doors, doorway front panel of the Claws of Axos box in 1:5. So, I mean, this one will be probably relatively big, on the big side anyway, so it's not really a perfect comparison. If they were all the same model, it would be a good comparison, but just to show you, that's as big as they go. And I will say, if you've been building these, you're used to them, this is a nice size. I prefer it to that, I think, especially for this model. It's just very neat. I don't know, it's kind of not too big. Like I was carrying it around in a bag, one of those big Aldi bags for life, one of these, and it's kind of a nicer size. The others are just like the Arwell Jones, and that's an exception because that one's a really weighty box, but that one was like carrying around 3 newborns. I was just like, do not drop this. But yeah, that was a nice size, and it's not very weighty, and I'd be keen to make another one in that size at some point. But obviously the figures aren't in scale with that one, so you're just kind of getting it for the... Not that there is a Sylvester McCoy figure coming out or existing. I know a few people get their own made, put together, commissioned. But yeah, the glossy finish on it I really like, and some of the photos are spot on. Probably showing some of them again over and over, but I think they look spot on. And that, like, sunshine and the sky and everything, it just looks bang on for not just Delta and the Bannerman, but just in general. That is how it looked. So I was very chuffed with that. Yeah. So, as you can probably tell, these two are the next projects on the go. I'm kind of doing them in tandem. That's the back doors for the Pertwee box, which are also opening. So that will be fun. I'm also planning to experiment with putting plastic in the top so the signs can be somewhat illuminated. Not massively, it's just that these signs were not backed by anything. So I'm just trying to recreate that, and given that it's the bigger scale, it might be easier to do. But the place where I get my printing done doesn't print on acetate, so I can't really print the signs onto acetate. Even if that would work, it might not. So I'll probably just print them onto a very thin paper and then let the light extrude through that. But yeah, I'm getting off the beaten track. So yeah, that's the close of that little project. Thanks for following it if you did. It was fun, and yeah, it was okay. I would have liked to have gotten a few more photos if the time was right, but as I say, there's not a massive amount to see that is kind of period accurate. So that's that, and it was a laugh.